is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole. Thank you for joining me. UFC 311 is Saturday at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. It is going to be an unbelievable card. Really, two title fights on top, a lot of good fights up and down the card. But I said to Dana White at UFC 310, said, I think the fight that I was waiting most to see was the number 3 fight on the card from the top, the light heavyweight battle between Jiri Prochazka, a former champion, and my guest right now, Jamahal Hill, another former champ. Welcome, Jamahal. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. I promise you no Cheeto dust here, so we're just going to talk about the fights.
There's nothing wrong with a little Cheeto dust as long as you dust it off and you go do something. You go do something outside.
There we go. Go do something. I'm with you. Knowing me, I'd be eating the Cheetos while I was outside. So that's, but that's neither here nor there. First of all, Jiri is always kind of a complex guy. Like when you look at him and you're breaking him down, getting ready to fight, do you see any patterns or trends that you feel like you can take advantage of against him?
100% I do. Yeah, I see the openings. I see ways where I can implement my skill set and be dominant.
Both of you guys lose to Alex Pereira, so you have that in common. He came back with a win after, in between his losses to Pereira. Were you impressed with what he did in the Alexander Rakic fight? I thought Rakic was giving him some trouble for a while.
Yeah, Rakic. I feel like Rakic was giving him business, but it was kind of like the story of kind of what we've known from and seen from Jiri is he doesn't go away easily. And if you don't stay composed and you don't stay on point at all times, he can turn the tide and get you out of there.
Now, from, when you look at this, he's going to change things, right? He's talked about that, and he's kind of his personality is unique and he does things different than, most of you guys, I would say, prepare in similar ways. And then Yuri's kind of a little bit different. Do you think that makes it a little harder knowing that, he's kind of a little bit offbeat and he has a different way of doing things than Alex or Thiago Santos or Johnny Walker or whoever?
Well, all those guys you just named have different ways of doing things. So everybody comes with their own challenges. So for me, I don't really pay too much attention to that. For more so, everything I'm focused on my ability to be able to meet adversity, adapt, identify, and those things. So I bring different guys in. I get different looks. So that way, it's more so about training my ability to adjust.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel health-wise? I mean, obviously, you were supposed to fight in June, and you got injured and were out. Health-wise, do you feel like good? Are you back to 100%?
Yeah, I feel good. It's training camp. Training camp's been long, so you're always going to deal with certain little things here and there. But for all in all, yeah, I feel great. I feel like I'm in a much better place.
9 months for you since you've last been in there. What kind of changes do you feel like you need to make after the loss to Alex? Or was that just a thing that you say, hey, I made one mistake and Alex is really good and took advantage of it?
Yeah, pretty much that. He took advantage of a mistake, and we keep going. I'm always looking to grow, so I'm not gonna really hang too much on that. I take what I can from it, I learn, and then I move forward. Like I said, it's always it's like even when I tell teammates or some of my boys, it's either you win or you learn. Win and learn. And hopefully you learn both ways. But even when you lose, as long as the only way you really lost is if you didn't learn anything.
Do you feel like, I know the UFC is planning to make Ankalaev versus Pereira as the next fight.
How do you know that?
I might have heard things. That's kind of
I'm just asking. Everybody, I've heard this a couple times, but I haven't heard this from everybody but them.
I just heard that Ankalaev might be the next title shot, and then the winner of this fight,
which is a reasonable thought. But I see a way where I could slide myself in there ahead of the curve. So we're gonna see about that.
Yeah, and I guess I was going to say the one thing about the UFC, if you come up with a jaw-dropping performance, they don't mind changing pace. So you feel like you can go out there and kind of wow people and fight your way into the title shot.
That's what I'm always. That's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah, no doubt. If Alex fights Ankalaev, how would you see that fight going? Like, I know Ankalaev has a reputation as a great wrestler, but he has a lot of knockouts too. How do you think Alex would do against Ankalaev?
I think it's an interesting challenge for Alex. I think it's an interesting challenge for Alex because of the wrestling one, but also Magomed is a very sharp counter puncher. He's a very sharp counter striker. I believe Alex's striking style could actually play a little bit in the favor of a Ankalaev in the way that he strikes in a certain way, and the things that he looks to do in a fight, as well as him having to worry about that takedown.
Sure.
So I see ways where Ankalaev could be a huge problem for Alex, but I also see ways that Alex could be a huge problem for Ankalaev.
I hesitate to ask you this, but I'm going to ask anyways, just because people are talking about it. Like, I have never thought of you as the bad guy or whatever, but like a lot of these people now they see things that happen, they see things reported in the media, and they're making conclusions on it. And you're kind of getting the reputation as the bad guy of the group, right? Like, are you comfortable with that? And does it bother you that people perceive you that way?
Nah, I'm good with it. You see, the way I see it is, I've dealt with a lot of injuries recently. So over the last couple of years, I've had so now to be coming up on 2 years. I've only had one fight,
right?
But name is still dominating the headlines. So I mean, I'm okay with that. Say what you want to say about me. Just keep talking about me.
You're doing something right if people are talking about you, right?
In the win, and then I know myself. I know I fight the wins. The fight when I get back where I'm at, when I get back to where I am now, and the fights start rolling, and the fight and the wins start to come. It's all gonna be,
go the other way.
Yeah.
How do you think, being active will help you? You reference, one fight in 2 years, basically, as you get into this fight. How do you think, like, if you get a chance to fight 2 or 3 times this year and have some consistency in terms of training camp and then into fights, what difference does that make to your performance wise?
Because I talk best with my hands, so people will be able to just say, we'll see. There'll be more action. A lot of people like most people don't like talk. Like, even me, I don't really care for a whole lot of talk. I'd much rather show you with action. So I'll be able to do that.
Interesting. Do you feel like your division, especially at the top, is the best division in the UFC right now? When you look up there, how many former champions there are, and how many just entertaining fighters? Like, there's a lot of really good fighters in that top 10. Do you feel like this is becoming quietly, maybe, if not the best division in the UFC, one of the elites?
I believe the division's in a really good spot. Like I said, like I mentioned the names I mentioned earlier, we got some guys that have been putting in the work, that have been jumping in, saving cards. The 205 division has now jumped in and saved what? 2 major cards, UFC 300, International Fight Week. That was the 205 division that came in and they stepped in and did that. Even the Khalil fight and the Alex fight, that was a step-in fight for them to step in and save that card as well. So, I mean, you tell me if a division, if this is the division that's being called on, whenever it's like, oh shit, we need something big, and we need some entertainment. How is it not? Then we got the new guys coming in like a Carlos Ulberg, Bogdan, and some other guys, that are coming out putting on impressive victories and wins. So yeah, it's looking good.
Well, I have the rankings up here. Like, when you mentioned Ankalaev style might be tough for Alex. Prochazka, former champion. You a former champion. Number 4, Blachowicz, a former champion. Alex Rakic, a very fun fighter. Ulberg, I think, is a really good up-and-coming fighter. And then you got Khalil at number 7, right? Dana was upset that Khalil was still right down there, That's crazy. Crazy division you got there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's wrap with this. Do you feel like you make a statement by finishing Jiri in this fight? I mean, are you going to be content if you win a 3-round decision? The odds basically, I don't know if you know this, are moving in your favor. The other day it was basically pick 'em. You're minus $1.35 at DraftKings right now. He's plus $1.14. So that's a fairly significant move in your direction. Do you feel like this is a fight that you can finish and that you need to finish?
I believe it's a fight that I can finish. As far as I need to know, I just need to be dominant. As long as I don't care about winning the victory or winning the decision, I'm okay with the decision as long as I can, as long as it's a dominant decision. Like no question that I control every round of this fight.
Well, you will see this man on Saturday, UFC 311 at the Intuit Dome. Jamahal Hill is going to be fighting Jiri Prochazka, and which should be a fantastic fight. Jamahal, always good to see you, my friend. Wish you the best. See you down in LA on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Always good to see you, Kev. Thank you.
See you, bro.